The colony of New Harmony was a quiet miracle. Children played beneath artificial skies, their laughter echoing across the synthetic fields. The air held no pollutants, only the scent of engineered flowers and fresh bread from communal ovens. Parents watched with contentment, unaware that this fleeting peace would soon be shattered. Above them, a ripple in space widened. No alarms sounded, no warnings. The galactic soldiers descended like shadows with weapons that purred as they burned. The children didn't understand what was happening. They ran, called for their parents, reached for safety that never came. Energy bolts painted the air in red streaks. A classroom full of 6-year-olds was incinerated in a blink. A daycare crumbled under plasma fire. There were no strategic targets, only small, vulnerable lives. One girl, barely 5, tried to shield her baby brother with her body. Both vanished beneath the thunder of alien boots. In less than 12 minutes, the Varlock soldiers erased the next generation of an entire human colony. The skies went quiet again. They left no message, no demand, no reason. Just scorched ground, smoldering rubble, and silence. The emergency transmission arrived on Earth hours later, delayed, corrupted, filled with static. But the images broke through. A child's shoe, a melted swing set, a young teacher whispering into the camera, blood streaming down her temple. Please don't let this be forgotten. Her breath hitched, her voice trailing into nothing. The screen faded to black. Across Earth, normal life stopped. Traffic froze. Broadcasts halted mid-sentence. A billion eyes locked on images that would sear into human memory. Social media, governments, families, everyone saw. The rage was instant, but not loud. Not yet. It simmered under the surface like magma waiting to burst. The usual chaos of public outcry was absent. Instead, humanity fell into a chilling silence. A mourning so profound it didn't need words. In a coordinated global signal, Earth's united government addressed the people. "We will respond," said the Chancellor, "with clarity, with unity, and with resolve. Nothing more. No promises of vengeance, no firebrand declarations. Just resolve, the kind that echoes through history." The Galactic Council received Earth's formal request for an emergency hearing. It was unusual. Humans rarely requested anything. They were known for their diplomacy, their patience. But something had changed. The Varlock claimed it was a military error, a mistaken target they offered. Unfortunate but unavoidable. No apologies, no compensation, just bureaucratic dismissals. Humanity did not cry out for justice. It calculated it. Quietly, in data centers and war rooms hidden deep beneath mountains and oceans, Earth began to move. Not with protests, but with preparation. Not with fury, but with purpose. The image of the colony's ruins was now imprinted in every classroom, every city square, every home. Not as a call for hatred, as a promise, never again. Children across Earth asked why. No one had answers, only a certainty that this horror would not be the final word. The Galactic Council convened in the central chamber, a structure older than most member species. Dozens of delegates from across the stars assembled, speaking in layered languages and smug consensus. Earth's representative entered last, Ambassador Elias Cade. Alone, no entourage, no ceremonial garb, just a dark suit, unadorned, face unreadable. The Varlock envoy was already speaking, deflecting blame with mechanical precision. An unfortunate misfire, regrettable collateral. Earth's colony failed to register proper presence codes. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Cade stood still, expression locked, hands folded behind his back. When his turn came, he spoke without greeting or preamble. A total of 1,412 children were murdered. 74 educators and caregivers. 0 combatants. 0 weapons. 0 warnings. You call this a misfire? The chamber went quiet. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. The words hit with surgical weight. One delegate from the Dravari Confederation chuckled. Humans are famously emotional. Let us not exaggerate every tragic outcome into a cosmic crisis. Another joined in. You overestimate the value of your spawn, Earthling. Cade turned to face them, voice as still as a glacier. We are not here to plead. We are here to inform. Silence followed. He stepped forward. You mistake our silence for weakness, our patience for permission, our restraint for fear. His tone sharpened, not louder, just clearer. But humanity is not new to pain. We are not strangers to atrocity. What you have awakened in us is not sorrow. It is memory. A ripple of unease spread through the room. The ambassador continued. Your histories do not include ours. You forget that Earth was once a place where entire nations were leveled for less. You forget we were forged not by peace, but by fire. The Varlock interrupted. If you seek revenge, you violate the Council's Articles of Engagement. Any unilateral action will be treated as aggression against the galaxy. Cade's lips barely moved. Then prepare yourselves. A silence followed that seemed to stretch time. One delegate from a minor race leaned forward. What do you intend? Cade looked up, eyes like cold iron. We intend for you to remember, forever, that our kindness was a choice, that we offered peace first, that what comes next was earned. A low hum activated from his wrist. He tapped a single command. Across the Council's personal data interfaces, files began to upload. Images of the colony's dead, full casualty reports, forensic evidence, time-stamped communications. Brutal, indisputable. The data was clean, unmanipulated, and it broke through even the most callous protocols. No theatrics, no threats, just the truth delivered with precision. The kind of truth that doesn't ask for reaction, it demands it. We do not require your permission, Cade said. We are not seeking your approval. We are notifying you. Earth is no longer bound by restraint. One delegate whispered, You would bring war? Cade looked at him for a long second. No, we will bring understanding. In your language, that may resemble war. He turned and began walking out. No further words. No rebuttals. Behind him, arguments erupted, some furious, some fearful. The Varlock delegate demanded sanctions. Others urged calm. One delegate simply sat, wide-eyed, whispering they're not bluffing. By the time Cade reached his ship, Council channels were flooded with alerts. Unmarked human fleets had gone dark, disappearing from conventional tracking systems. Entire squadrons were no longer where they had been, but no weapons had fired. Not yet. That night, across a dozen alien capitals, a strange feeling settled over leaders who once dismissed Earth as primitive and sentimental. For the first time in centuries, they felt something ancient. It began without warning. No declarations. No demands. A Varlock military installation on the rim of their territory vanished in an instant. No fire detected, no traceable energy signature. Only a crater, smoking and silent. Before authorities could respond, another facility fell. Then 3 more. Each strike was surgical. No civilians harmed. No infrastructure touched. Only military assets, neutralized with terrifying precision. The Varlocks scrambled their fleets. Communications faltered. Systems flickered and died. Ships refused commands. Internal AI turned dormant. Human cyber warfare programs, never before seen, had embedded themselves months earlier, lying in wait. When triggered, they severed entire fleets from Central Command in seconds. All across known space, human ships emerged, not from hyperspace corridors, but from regions previously thought uninhabitable. Radiation zones, dead sectors, gravity wells no species dared approach. Earth's vessels didn't announce themselves. They simply arrived, struck, and disappeared. Observers reported no visible weapons, only quiet, instantaneous disintegration of enemy targets. Entire Varlock command stations were overrun by drones, silent, floating machines that didn't fire bullets or lasers, but emitted subsonic frequencies that disabled nervous systems. The soldiers collapsed where they stood, alive but broken. The drones left behind only one thing: data slates showing footage of the massacred children of New Harmony. A message embedded in every system, every screen: we remember. Panic spread faster than war. Civilian colonies of other species began sending messages of neutrality. Some offered aid. Some begged for guarantees they wouldn't be next. Earth didn't respond. There were no press conferences, no gloating, no ultimatums, just silence and the steady fall of Varlock defenses. The Galactic Council tried to intervene. Sanctions were drafted. Communications were sent. But no reply came. Earth ignored every protocol. Treaties were meaningless now. One ambassador declared Earth a rogue state. Hours later, their flagship malfunctioned and drifted into a dead star. No evidence of attack, just absence. A message followed. Watch your tone. The Varlock capital, long thought untouchable, entered lockdown. Civil defense systems activated. Citizens hoarded supplies. Fear infected every corner of their society. Their war ministers issued statements claiming control, but none believed it. Earth had not just fought, they had dismantled. Quietly, efficiently, with a moral clarity that made resistance feel pointless. The psychological toll exceeded the physical. Every planetary broadcast began with images of New Harmony's children, overlaid with a question. Would you still call it a misfire? Military officers resigned en masse. Some defected. A handful took their own lives. One admiral left a note. We are not fighting soldiers. We are facing consequence. Behind it all was a strategy so refined, so unrelenting, that even the most advanced species couldn't predict Earth's next move. Human-AI coordination, decentralized fleets, encrypted swarm intelligence. Nothing moved in patterns known to galactic warfare. Humanity had not merely advanced. They had evolved in secrecy. Reports surfaced of human operatives embedded for decades in alien systems, gathering data, analyzing weaknesses. Not spies. Accountants. Analysts. Linguists. Their purpose had never been conquest. Until now. For every action taken, Earth released proof of restraint. Civilian sites spared. Medical vessels untouched. Offers made to allow evacuation of soldiers before targeted strikes. The message was unmistakable. This is not vengeance. This is correction. The final wave of strikes came in silence. Major Varlock strongholds fell, their entire strategic command grid rendered inert. Energy outputs dipped to planetary minimums. Power relays blinked out. And still, Earth didn't occupy, didn't colonize. They simply erased capacity for harm. In less than 2 weeks, the Varlock Empire, centuries old, ceased to function as a military power. No human leader appeared. No fleet held a parade. The galaxy looked for a face to confront. There was none, only the echo of precision and the unbearable weight of understanding. The Galactic Council chamber stood subdued, its usual noise replaced by tension so thick it felt physical. Delegates who once laughed now whispered. The Varlock seats remained empty, vacated, abandoned, or occupied by silence. Then, Elias Cade returned. No escort, no formal announcement. He walked to the center, placed a single device on the table, and activated it. A projection filled the chamber. New Harmony's children. Not their deaths, this time their lives. Laughter, games, voices, music. Faces that now haunted a galaxy. Cade let the silence breathe. Let it sting. Then he spoke. You've seen the consequences. Now, understand the reason. We're not conquerors. We do not want territory, tribute, or rule. We want memory. We want what happened to be remembered so thoroughly, so completely, that no species ever again finds comfort in the thought of harming our children. He paused as the video ended on a still frame. A small girl smiling, her hand raised in mid-wave. We were dismissed, labeled emotional, soft. You took our empathy as fragility. What you've now seen is what happens when that empathy dies. A murmur began to rise from the delegates. Cade raised one hand. They stopped. There will be no reparations demanded, no new laws proposed, no expansion of territory. We do not seek to rewrite the galaxy, only to place a boundary, a single, absolute line. He placed a written document before the council. This is Earth's declaration of non-violable space. Our colonies, our children, our worlds. You stay away. If you cannot guarantee that, you will not get another warning. Only silence. No one spoke. One delegate, trembling, asked, "Is this peace, then?" Kate replied, "That depends on you." The declaration passed unopposed. Not from agreement, but from fear. One by one, species signed. Varlock remnants signed without even reading. No one questioned the terms. Earth withdrew its fleets the same day. Human ships faded from alien skies. The Council waited for posturing, victory celebrations, a power grab. None came. Earth returned to quiet. Not weakness. Contained fire. Months passed. Trade resumed. Political channels reopened. But something had changed. Every interaction with humanity now carried weight. A pause before every word. A calculation before every move. Because the galaxy now knew, beneath the surface of Earth's calm diplomacy was a force capable of ending civilizations. And humanity didn't brag. It didn't boast. That made it worse. Because there is nothing more terrifying than a people who do not need to scream to be heard. On a new colony far from conflict, children played under violet skies. Laughter returned. Overhead, a single human dreadnought hovered, silent, unmoving. A symbol, not of domination, but of promise. They would never be unguarded again. Not because they feared the galaxy, but because now the galaxy feared them.